Wow, that sounds pretty badass.
Hey guys, I've got a really fun video for you today because behind me is the brand new 2021 Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat. It is a 710 horsepower, 3-row SUV, and I think it'll be the rarest and most valuable of all the Hellcats. And in this video, we're going over all the really cool gizmos and gadgets, and at the end, I'll tell you what makes this one so rare. Hey guys, Tommy here with a little bit of a secret and something a little bit worrying. You see, every man on my mom's side of the family has some sort of male pattern baldness. And it actually turns out that they're not alone. Did you know that 2 out of 3 guys will experience some sort of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35? And you want to catch it before you have no hair whatsoever. You used to have to go to a doctor to get a prescription, but now thanks to Keeps, you can visit a doctor online and get a prescription sent directly to your house. Keeps offers one of the only generic FDA-approved hair loss products out there. And let me tell you what, you've never seen it at this price. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/TFL or click the link in the description below and receive 50% off your first order. That is keeps.com/TFL. Check them out. Then we get to the Hellcat portion of the Durango, and that refers to what's underneath the hood, a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8 with 710 horsepower and 645 pound-feet of torque. The stats are just incredible. 0 to 60 in the mid-3s, quarter mile in just over 11 seconds. It's insane. It's just crazy. Of course, the one number they didn't give us on this program, fuel economy. Go figure. Now let's dissect this vehicle's name for a second because there's a lot going on here. First and foremost, this is a Durango, which means you have 2 seats in the front. You of course have a spacious second row with 2 seats here, but then this is the best part. Another 2 seats back here so you can take your kids and your dogs and all your stuff at 180 miles an hour. How crazy is that? Now in the Durango lineup, it's insane the number of engine options. Starting at the base end, you've got the 295 horsepower 3.6 liter V6, then you've got the 5.7 liter Hemi, and then you got the 6.4 liter Hemi, and now you got the 6.2 supercharged. So you can go all the way from 290-ish horsepower to over 700, which is just berserk. And then you have a number of all-wheel drive systems. This one is a single speed transfer case, no low range in this one, right? I mean, it's crazy how adaptable these platforms are. So how can you tell the Durango Hellcat from a standard one? No, Dad, there's more than just a Hellcat badge. Let's start out at the front. Now for 2021, the whole Durango lineup has received a facelift, but the Hellcat's a little bit unusual because see these vents here? On a standard Durango, there'd be a fog light there, but not on the Hellcat because they needed as much air rushing into the front of the vehicle as possible. Of course, you do get some slight Hellcat badging there along the front. This one also has racing stripes, which is brilliant, but another classic Hellcat trait is actually down here. You've got this little double lip for the front splitter. You're not going to find that on any other Durango. Now coming around the side, some other changes for 2021. Look at these brakes. Not only are they red, but now they say SRT Brembo on them. They are wrapped in 20-inch wheels and 295/45 Pirelli performance tires. Along the side, it's pretty much standard Durango until we come to the rear with this massive spoiler and this little gurney lip there. Now this spoiler can generate 140 pounds of downforce at this vehicle's top speed of 180 miles per hour. And then coming around back, the exhausts are special. These are 4-inch tips and the exhaust system itself is actually a little bit unusual. Proper dual exhaust with an X pipe in the middle so you get that classic V8 rumble. And then there's a resonator in the rear which isn't actually a resonator. It's there to kind of fit the exhaust in place, but on the Hellcat, it's basically just a straight through pipe. Now yes, even though this is a crazy high-performance SUV, it's still a Durango, which means it still has to tow, and it tows a lot. First of all, the hitch lives underneath this hideaway cover, but when you reveal it, you'll see a proper hitch with a 7-pin connector and a 4-pin connector, and the tow rating, 8,700 pounds, even on the Hellcat version, which is crazy because the Ram TRX, the V8 supercharged 1500 Ram, tows around 8,000 pounds. So this actually tows more than a 1500 truck. The inside of the Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat is full of cool gizmos and gadgets. Now the 2021 Durango itself has received a much needed facelift on the inside, and probably the biggest difference is the new screen. This is the new Uconnect 5 10-inch touchscreen display. Believe it or not, there have been 5 generations of Uconnect. I know, hard to believe. And it has been fully revamped. It's actually powered by Android, and the screen resolution is 3 times better than the previous Uconnect, and the functionality is much improved, or so they say. Now, first of all, it looks pretty similar, but the actual design is just much crisper. You'll notice the bubbles are gone. Now it just kind of shows the icons on what you're displaying. And I love this when we go into like the climate setting. Look at this attention to detail. The little dudes to show where the air is flowing now are wearing helmets. How cool is that? It also has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, navigation of course, and SRT pages. So if I click the SRT on the main screen there, I've got my performance pages so I can see the stats within the vehicle. I can also look at gauges, G-force meters, all that. And then I have different drive modes to configure the vehicle for exactly what I want. So I've got snow modes, sport modes, track modes, and of course the tow mode. Oh, there's also a race options page. And look at this. That's how I changed the RPM there for the launch control. These buttons are new here on the 2021 Durango. They're much crisper than the old model, and now we have buttons for heated and ventilated seats. We've got a hard button for heated steering wheel and some toggles down here as well, shortcuts for SRT pages, and a shortcut for the launch mode. Down below here in the center console, we have a wireless charger. Let's see if it fits the latest iPhone. Well, okay, I'm one behind now, this is the 11, but even the largest iPhone 11 will fit there comfortably. And look at this, 4 USBs, both A and C style. There is a new carbon fiber package available on the Hellcat with this really interesting design. It doesn't look like carbon fiber, it almost looks like granite, but this is in fact a crushed carbon fiber material. The steering wheel on the Hellcat is incredibly thick. It just feels great in the hand. It's leather wrapped and stitched. I have controls for pretty much everything from infotainment to cruise control, adaptive cruise control, and buttons in the back which control volume. That's a classic FCA thing. Small paddle shifters up top here, but my favorite feature is actually the SRT badge. Now there are 2 versions of the SRT Durango. The standard one with the 6.4 liter V8 that actually glows white at night, and then the Hellcat with the 6.2 liter supercharged that glows red at night. On the inside of the Durango Hellcat in the second row, you'll notice these dials. This is actually a panel mounted to the roof that controls the second row climate control, all for the rear passengers. And don't think that the second row passengers are gonna be bored, because take a look at this. There is a rear seat entertainment system with hookups on the side of the seat for HDMI, and then your AV ports as well. And below that, we've got climate vents down here and heated rear seats. Now I'm not sure that these are all that relevant in 2021, because chances are your kids are going to be playing on their iPads anyways and not watching old school Disney movies on CDs, DVDs. Of course, being a Hellcat, you gotta have the red SRT Hellcat key. Check that out. With, of course, a power liftgate. Double click the button and it glides into position. Now this is with the third row folded up. Still a decent amount of room back here, not quite as good as like the new Tahoe, for example, but then of course the new Tahoe doesn't have over 700 horsepower. I do have a big storage cubby underneath the floor here, and the seats do fold forward completely flat as well. And now tons of room for all your go fast goodies.
How about your dog?
How about your dog? I don't have little Blaze because we are out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, but if I had my little puppy, I think he'd love it in there. The Hellcat Durango starts at a tick under $81,000, but the one you see behind me, well, it's more expensive, $91,065. So you're going to have to pay if you want crazy family hauling capability. Now, competition-wise, it's a little bit interesting. From the German side of things, right, you've got the 3-row, like the GLS 63, but that's going to be well over $100,000. If you get a little bit more unconventional, maybe look at things like the Tesla Model X and Model X Performance. Now, that starts at under 90, but a Performance is going to be over 100K. That's actually going to be quicker than this vehicle. And then, of course, you've got BMW X7, but that's not really high performance. Jeep Trackhawk.
RS8.
RSQ8 is a potential.
QRS8.
QRLMQ8. I don't know. There's a Ford Explorer ST, but that's far less power. Pretty much, if you want to go super fast in a straight line, the Durango Hellcat's the way to do it. The Durango Hellcat will be hitting dealerships in early 2021, and it's only going to be available for one model year because starting 2022, EVAP emission regulations have changed and they are not going to keep building the Durango Hellcat. And I think that's why this is going to be such a rare and valuable vehicle. It's kind of like, in my mind, the Magnum SRT8. Magnum SRT8 was the family hauling crazy version of the Charger in a lot of ways, and that's the one that people are really looking for because they were rare and they were just so insane. And that's exactly what the Durango will be like in 10 or 15 years. It's a family hauling, boat towing SUV with over 700 horsepower. They're only building it for 1 year, so I think this is going to be the collectible one. Okay, maybe the Demon, but the Demons were so rare, this is going to be the one you're going to want to find. Well, as always, this is Tommy with the Fastlane Car. Check out tflcar.com for independent and honest reviews.